This is Drew with Boomer Music Company, your band and orchestra experts since 1976, and thepodcastingstore.com, the one-stop shop for all things podcasting and remote learning. This is your Weekend Update.
Welcome to another Weekend Update. We're outside. The weather is wonderful, and some family time out here, as you can see, with Jamie and the boys. So I figured I would multitask and do our video. The weather's fantastic. If you haven't gotten out this weekend, you really need to. So this week, continued on at High Plains School, helping out with Tootin Tuesday, and we were talking about articulation, and there was a really cool video. Her name is Sarah Willis. She's a horn player, and she actually played inside of an MRI. So here's a little clip from that video. It's really, really cool to see how the tongue moves and where it all goes. And then we continued with our Absolute Beginners videos, and this week we had flute and saxophone and I believe percussion as well. So here's a montage from those videos if you haven't caught those yet.
So when I set the snare drum on there, right now it's setting to where the arms, the metal is hitting the metal part. So I want it to sit into the rubber arms. So I'm going to tighten it up just a little bit. About like that. One final adjustment just to make sure, oh, this one's off a little. So I'm going to keep tightening it until the drum is completely on the rubber arms. Just like that. So now it's on the rubber.
A little in. All right, so we're going to take, and the hardest part about playing flute is figuring out how you're going to hold your flute. Your flute sits in your left hand right at the pad of your flute. And if you are good and strong, you can hold your flute like that. Okay, your thumb will go on the bar. Your finger will go on the first key, and then you're going to skip one.
They tend to be dry, so I will say that cork grease is your friend. So please don't be shy here. So this helps get the mouthpiece onto that neck cork. So simply what we do is just take it, apply on the neck cork. We want to work it in. So we'll just work it in like this. If you have a bunch of excess, then you can just...
And then over at the podcasting store, I did a blog post talking about the theory and thought process behind these 2-camera videos, talking about the gear that we use. It's a really, really streamlined rig. I'm using a version of it right here with the Rode Wireless Go 2, as well as how we want to place the cameras and why I've made some of the decisions that I have with that educational video. So I would definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. And then over on Medium, on the podcasting store Medium, I wrote an article talking about learning how to eat with chopsticks. And I jokingly say during my time at the Philadelphia Orchestra Library that was probably the most useful thing that Clint ever taught me, which of course is not true, but it's a larger overarching point which illustrates the difference between a talent and a skill. And I always like to say that skills can be learned, so you can develop them over time, like making music, but innate talent is going to affect the speed with which you can develop that skill. So if you haven't seen that article, the link's right here for it, and then go through and check that out. So that's our weekend update, taking it outside again because why not? And thank you so much for all your support, and we'll see you at the store.
If you enjoyed the Weekend Update, do me a favor and follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channels, or visit our websites. This is Drew with Boomer Music Company and thepodcastingstore.com. Thanks for listening.